In this video, I'll give a quick review of all my Nintendo Switch games. Persona 5, you really care about the characters, you'll miss them when you're not playing the game, they feel like they're real people. Emotional story deals with real world issues, turn-based combat, you really care what's happening in the world, has romance. I like the scene, even though you're in Tokyo, you go on a vacation, you can go to Hawaii and see tropical locations. The dungeons are fairly interesting and have more depth to their exploration than in the previous Persona games. Like I said, you really care about the characters. One of the best JRPGs ever made. Trails of Cold Steel 4. Well, the characters grow on you over the course of the series. Great turn-based combats with a fair bit of strategy, and don't know what else to say. You really care about the characters in the game, and the stories nicely presented. In this game, there's some tropical environments which I love. Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Final Fantasy 7 revolutionized. Sorry, my phone cut out. Final Fantasy 7 revolutionized JRPGs with its cinematics and creative storytelling, going for a full-on sci-fi, Blade Runner-esque environments, moving away from medieval fantasy. Some great plot twists come into the story, like with Sephiroth and aliens, and you still go to like country towns. Final Fantasy 8, beautifully presented. It's got a nice love story. The game has like a nice elegant feel, and it has a city a giant mobile city in the game. The story is very exciting. To mention with Final Fantasy 8, the junction system, you see why it's the good parts of it later on in the game, when you know where the magic is to make your characters powerful. Once you know where they are, it makes leveling up less tedious. Chain, amazing art style. It's a great action-adventure game. Some people call it an RPG. Its art style is amazing. You play as two police who fight, I think they're demons, and you have to use like weapons that are capable of defeating supernatural creatures. And the combat's exciting. It's just got style. Another gem from Platinum. Don't have time to sort what's a JRPG and what's not. I'll just sort them out into these stands here. Okay. Aladdin and Lion King. Well, the Mega Drive version of Aladdin is one of my favorite 2D platformers of all time. It captures the magic of the movie, has smooth animation. I love the environments. They just feel like in the movie. And the SNES version is fun. It's included. Lion King, very fun game, but very hard. Final Fantasy X, my favorite game of all time. Story is very creative. It has a love story that has chemistry, has beautiful environments that are Square set at, influenced by Thailand. I love tropical environments. Environments in the game remind me of Krabi or Phuket. It's got a great turn-based system. You can substitute characters in and out of battle. Some people have beaten the game without even leveling up, just using strategy. Blitzball's fun when you get the hang of it. And it's, like I said, story is very creative. A supernatural being that's destroying their world. Final Fantasy X Part 2. It's nice. It tries to give you closure on the love story between Tidus and Yuna. It shows more backstory about the world of Spira. It's very interesting. Don't have time to talk about all the games in the Final Fantasy Pixel collection. Okay, Final Fantasy VI. Story, it's just, it grows on you. It's got a world influenced by a little bit of sci-fi, a little bit of steampunk and fantasy. Sakaguchi said he wanted all the characters in the game to be the main character. And Final Fantasy IV, it set a standard for storytelling, and it's got likable, diverse characters. Like you can be a knight, a fighting Asian fighting monk, an elf, ninja, and many other characters. And it's a fun adventure and epic, and it's creative. Like it feel for like much of the game, it just feels like another fantasy story where you're after crystals, and it turns very sci-fi. You go into space and fight aliens and robots. Live Alive, I haven't played it yet, but I've heard good things about it. Um, it was originally released on SNES in Japan, didn't get localized until now, but yeah, heard it's got different stories that are linked together in very different time periods. Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The level designs are amazing. There's issues with the camera, but it's so fun to play. And yeah, I like how you can use different characters with different abilities. And it's a nice tropical environments, and it has like the charming environments of Mario's game. Bowser's Fury is interesting. It's like a tech demo of a 3D game where Mario can engage Bowser in Godzilla battles and big open world to explore. Talking about tropical environments, but yeah, in Super Mario 3D World, there's some nice lush, like green grassy environments as well, and yeah, and the Katsu power-up's fun to use. Rayman Legends, I love Rayman Origins and Legends. Rayman Legends has the levels from Rayman Origins, and yeah, the art style is amazing. It's like watching a cartoon. The level designs are so fun. It's such a fun 2D platformer. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Put maybe 80 hours into this game. Great turn-based strategy on a grid, and you can like we can create romance, and you can basically choose which characters you want to grow bonds with, and it helps a lot during battle. The story is interesting. Yeah, it's a very addictive turn-based strategy JRPG. Ni no Kuni, yeah, it's still sealed because I played it on PlayStation 3, but yeah, has the magic of Studio Ghibli with creativity of Level 5, a great JRPG in a fantasy world. And you see things that happen in our real world and in the fantasy world coming into the story. And there's a bit of Pokemon influence. It's such a fun, relaxing JRPG to play. I didn't like the sequel, but I love the original Ni no Kuni. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, one of my top 20 JRPGs of all time. It's story, it's emotional, war-based story, has romance, yeah, and fun, big open world to explore. It's hard to explain why I love it. It's just the game is so well put together. The Xenoblade Chronicles, they put big open worlds to explore. You can just spend a lot of time exploring, but the story is very good and emotional. Tales of Vesperia, originally played this on Xbox 360 and bought it on Steam for dirt cheap, but yeah, it's great to own a physical version of it. Cell-shaded anime-style visuals are so beautiful. It's got a creative story in a world where a magical barrier protects cities from monsters. Great sense of adventure. It's really fun to play. It doesn't have the deepest story, but it's just lots of fun. It's JRPG goodness. Final Fantasy IX, one of my favorite games of all time. It's so charming. It feels like a classic JRPG, but with like given modern touches. The game has multiple love stories. The characters are so charming. You just like them. Many people name their child after Zidane. Vivi reminds me of Orko from Masters of the Universe. Stainer's interesting knight, and a non-playable character, Beatrix, however you pronounce it. Yeah, they have an interesting funny love story between them, and you got the Princess Garnet, um, and she's a very likable character. Yeah, it's set in a fantasy world, but the game is so well put together, and it doesn't try to take itself too seriously. It makes you laugh at times. Sakaguchi said, in his opinion, it's the best Final Fantasy game ever. The two Breath of the Wild games, I'll review them both together. Yeah, take Zelda into open world and spend a lot of time exploring. The art style was beautiful. I like how the story tries to stay mysterious in the way it's presented. Yeah, just exploring the world and trying to is like a puzzle. You're trying to figure out how to traverse the world in different ways, and yeah, it's just captivating and relaxing to play. Breath of the Wild games aren't my favourite Zelda games. Wind Waker is. I hope it comes to Switch, but yeah, they're both amazing. Now I have Super Mario Odyssey and Super Mario Brothers Wonder in my backpack down there. It's not in the grey bag, it's in my Suzuki bag, it's down underneath the loft. Don't have time to go and get them, but yeah, Mario Odyssey, it's 3D platforming perfection. It's the ideas and how to implement platforming are perfect. It's just so creative and fun, and Cappy being able to let you take over the bodies of other living things and control them and use them for platforming elements or for gameplay. It's so fun and creative. And then Super Mario Brothers Wonder, it's 2D platforming perfection. You use multiple characters of different abilities, has the right amount of... It's challenging, but a child can play it too if they use Nabbit, because he can't die unless he falls. Yeah, and I love the tropical environments in the game, but it's got lush green grassy environments, castles. It's got, and it's one of the most creative 2D platforms ever. And when Mario finds certain seeds and goes into the psychedelic mode and the world turns psychedelic, it's so fun. And it's like every environment has two versions of it.